kaibigan, welcome to In My Toolbox. Of course, this is your weekly talk show for your personal finance only here at PHLV Radio. The goal of the show, mga kaibigan, is to give you financial information that you may be able to use on your day-to-day financial decisions. Of course, mga kaibigan, we will unbox topics that will hopefully aid you and guide you and maybe even add to your financial tools. And naman mga kaibigan, we will tackle important information here. I bet you this is not mostly taught in school. So of course, I'm telling you, all of these things is much needed to empower you financially. As usual, in any idea that will transpire in the show, mga kaibigan, always consult with your financial advisors, insurance professionals, tax consultants, etc., etc., etc. Again, my name is Enrico Pobre. I'm your host here at In My Toolbox. If you want to get in touch with me, of course, you can always email me at enrico.inmytoolbox@gmail.com. Or just simply Google my name, Enrico Pobre. I bet you will not miss me. All right, mga kaibigan. It's another day. It's another episode again, mga kaibigan. And today we're gonna be talking about holiday hardship. Oh my God, holiday hardship, ano? Ano ba handa natin ngayon Thanksgiving, mga kaibigan? Right? Alam niyo po, if you actually research this, 1 in 4 Americans can only afford to spend $100 on Thanksgiving. What? Yeah. 1 in 4 Americans can only afford to spend $100 on Thanksgiving, or maybe skipping Thanksgiving celebration entirely. Wow. Medyo that's hard, right? Now, Thanksgiving kasi is typically, this is a time for big family celebrations. And when you say celebration, it's going to be lots of foods. Family members going to come in. There's just a lot of things going on during Thanksgiving, right? It's just bonding time, family time. But the new survey finds it that the United States finds it that, are actually struggling just to making this celebration into fruition. And economy is forcing many Americans to cut back on their expenses this year. It's either, again, it's $100 or, skipping it entirely. And I'm going to tell you the comparison. In 2021 kasi, researchers actually found that 9 in 10 Americans, they actually plan to celebrate Thanksgiving. But this year, out of 1,000 people, they found that the numbers or the statistics actually fallen to just 74%. In fact, 47% says that they're celebrating Friendsgiving because it's more budget-friendly menu when you do that together, right? So just 20% of Friendsgiving celebrations will even, out of this number, 24% of that Friendsgiving celebration will actually have turkey on the table. And then 33%, they rather opt for pizza instead. Well, for us Filipinos, I'm telling you, oh God, it's going to be crispy pata there, lechon there, I don't know, right? But that's actually how it's economy is affecting us in celebrating Thanksgiving. So inflation, number one. Number two, job insecurity, are actually reigning on the Thanksgiving parade. Yeah. That's actually true. If you could compare a lot of people's income last year to this year, definitely you would see a huge difference. Not only that you see it, you'd actually feel it. Nearly 6 out of 10, which is about 60%, will admit that their Thanksgiving guest list is much smaller this year. So everybody that you used to invite, that's not going to be the same number anymore this year. It actually fallen down as well. And then 53% are now cooking fewer dishes just to, celebrate Thanksgiving. When it comes to cutting back on the celebration, the Gen Z responders on this survey actually are saying that they're doing all four of those things to cover the cost of Thanksgiving 2022. So really, all of these things are just cutting back or not do at all. So again, mga kaibigan, the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about the hardships in Thanksgiving, especially as Filipinos, still we would want to make it happen anyway, because there's nothing quite like Thanksgiving weekend, especially now. The Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh my God, that's a long weekend for all of us, right? So, a morning prepping turkey, and of course, you go to your grandma or your mom, and then you actually seek for their what do you call this? Their famous food preps, right, or whatever casserole there is, and then watching football maybe, or I don't know, whatever you usually do during Thanksgiving. You don't want to miss that. I know, we're just there. But then again, if the money is not there, it's just hard to do it anyway. But, between the eating and the shopping and the traveling, well, it's just really, let's all be honest, it's just really hard to track where your money, hard-earned money, is actually going. And I understand that. But don't worry, guys. Maybe some of the things I'm going to tell you will be able to aid you and guide you as well. Just make sure during these holidays, next week, that's Thanksgiving next week, right? You want to make sure that you prioritize your holiday plans. You already know this happens every year. If this is something that you do every year, of course, right? So once Thanksgiving comes around, the rest of the year, okay, wow, it's Thanksgiving again. It zooms so faster. And then, before you know it, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is actually there again. So, that's double the expenses, right? Now, it's how you spend the money on Turkey Day, or could actually set the tone for the kind of the money habits that you'll have for the rest of the year. This is exactly what I was telling my client yesterday. But usually naman, the way I look at it, it's not really the money problem. It's the expense problem. It's always has been something that's the back of my mind, and how I treat my finances. It's not the income. It's the habit, the money habit that you have. Your expense is the problem. So, as you're thinking about how you'll be, spending the holiday season, you might want to make sure that you write all the things you're planning to do between now and New Year. Now, in fact, the way that I prepare for Christmas, because I give gifts during Christmas, I buy it during what do you call this? Black Friday. So that's how early that's my timing on how to prepare all these gifts. I could save money during that time. But holiday travel, gifts, food, parties, traditions, well, you just have to make sure that you prioritize and plan it very well. Then you take some time, to make the list. Who you're gonna give to, what you're gonna giving, and then you start adjusting your budget. And of course, by doing that too, you would know what to cut first. It doesn't mean that you put all the list there, is that those are the things you're going to give, right? Or you're going to be spending. From that list, there's no better things to do but to write all of these expenses or possible expenses on how you're going to be spending your holidays. And then you start, okay, this is not what I need, etc. Instead of just going out there and just buy whatever you see. Right? So, if let me give you an example. So, if that you really would want to, a big homemade Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners, well, maybe today you can scale back on the seasonal decorations, to have, so that you can direct the funds towards food. That's what I mean. So, maybe if, say, for example, you spend so much in decorating your house, but money is not there today, maybe you lessen that decoration so that you can gear those budget going to food, if that makes sense, So if visiting family is your priority, meaning you travel and go to your family, maybe you would want to trim a little bit on your Christmas budget, because after Thanksgiving it's going to be Christmas, right? So if you have the means, why not? But of course, we're talking about how to get away of this hardship during these holidays. You might want to direct it first, you don't spend a lot here this Thanksgiving, so you can direct your budget for Christmas, or you the other way around. Because money is money, right? So, and then you just have to make sure that you prioritize. The important thing is the plan that you created is actually going to be celebrated the way you want it to be, and at least you do it before the holiday begins. I think we still have a good time today, right? Number two, you make a budget and check it often. So you want to make sure, me, maybe I get the habit of looking at my bank account every day because I checked it often, because that's actually, I love visuals, so I could see it, not just because I know it. Now you've got, just like what I told you, if you have the priorities in order, now it's time to make the budget. That's the second step. So now you're ready for everything that's coming this holiday. This way, you know how much you're spending and what the limits of your expenditures are before you do the actual spending. Especially now, next week is going to be Thanksgiving. So that's exactly what I would want you guys to do. Go out there, go ahead and actually create your budget and look at every dollar that you'll be spending later on. So be sure that, of course, you include all your holiday plans, not just Thanksgiving, include Christmas and New Year, right? And then how much you think you'll be spending for each event, for each gift, for each whatever food that you'll be preparing, so you can actually be guided accordingly. So if you're finding yourself going over the budget, now this time is actually a good time to start adjusting. Remember, it's okay that you cut back on some things to be able to make room for other things that actually matters to you more. And when you already made up your mind and you already made those tough decisions, at least you did it already ahead of time. And now, because you did it ahead of time, it will be easier for you to be able to stick on your budget as you're actually starting to grab those groceries, right? Or eyeing for those gifts for the people that you love, right? Again, that actually just makes you a smart shopper. So the way that I told you, I do it during Black Friday, or maybe what's the other one? The Cyber Monday. I do those. I use those times because definitely the reason why there's Black Friday and Cyber Monday, because you buy stuff, less than what is actually priced at, right? So that's savings for me there, and I'll be able to direct my savings to, for example, I would love to put more into food. Now I'm directing my savings there, So there really isn't, how much should you be spending on Thanksgiving? There's really no magic number. As long as you're getting the good deals, you're buying the stuff you already on your list or the things that you plan to buy now, and then you keep your eye that you're actually staying on your budget and avoid using your credit cards. Remember, guys, credit card, that's not your money. That's not your money, okay? It's the bank's money that you're borrowing from. And then, of course, you have to have that discipline that you stay within your budget. Now, look at this. I keep on saying that. Stay within that budget. I can repeat it every now and then, just to make sure that you remember that you stay within your budget. Now, what you want to do, too, is to have an advanced research, so which stores sells less, which stores sells with all of these discounts. You just have to do your research before you start buying. Then you keep that shopping list, and then you keep that on the shopping list, which store to buy that from, because when you see 75% off, it's easy to get sidetracked, when you see all of this. But again, the key here is you stick on the game plan and what store that you're going to get those things from. And then, of course, no deal is worth going into debt for. Again, there's no deal that is worth going into debt for. Oh, my God. You have 75% off anyway, so that's why you bought it, but you actually use your credit card. Doesn't make sense, right? So you don't buy things if you cannot afford it. Bottom line, right? Okay. By the way, I was talking about decorations a while ago because, you just go easy on your decorations. Don't just go full blast just because, And especially today, nowadays, we are social media obsessed world. You might think that your house needs to look like, like a cover of a front page magazine. Right? Or a very beautiful magazine out there, because it's the holidays. No, you don't have to do that. You just go easy on your decorations. And then I'm telling you, just by doing that simple approach, I'm telling you, you would find other things that you can direct that finance to or that money to, So you can still make your home very festive, without putting a lot of money on very expensive decorations. So I think, if you have kids, you may want to encourage your kids to trace their hands on a paper, and then what do you call this? Whatever. Garlands here, garlands there, or whatever. You just want to be creative in doing this one. You just have to go outside, maybe let your kids gather some pine cones. Of course, maybe you can find that easily in your backyard today. You can put that on a bowl, and that's going to be all these pine cones just in the middle. You can use that as a centerpiece of your, you can just be creative and make sure, you involve your kids. It's going to be fun too. I do that as well, so, and you will be thankful that you actually did this because you were able to save some money during these holidays. Now, another thing, when you're in a party, when you're throwing a party or a dinner, what have you, just offer fewer drink options. You don't need a lot of wine and sodas and, maybe whatever party punch that you have there, or sweet tea, or a cider, or whatever signature cocktails that you might have in, plan to do. I think you get the picture of what I'm saying. You just make sure that you offer few drinks options for everybody, because having a nearly limitless beverage is going to be very expensive for you. You want to save money but still celebrate anyway, right? So you want to make sure that you save money, simplify the decision-making process, and then, just offer fewer drinks. I'm telling you, that will be an awesome party anyway. Since I'm talking about fewer drinks options, you might want to keep your dinner simple. It doesn't have to be extravagant, guys. You make sure that it's just enough. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Because, oh, by the way, it's hard to eat leftovers. No, I don't know. Some people are having a hard time eating leftovers. Some people are so good in leftovers. I don't know, but it's just what I'm telling you. So you would see this anyway if you actually prepared a lot of food by basing off the leftovers that you actually have the next day, because you don't want that extra money. You just want to prepare just enough for that occasion, so because you'll waste money if you don't do this, and you still have time to think, just how much food you actually, just make sure that it's enough. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All right. Now, use generic brands is another way on how you could actually save money. Still, you want to celebrate it. Again, we're talking about holiday hardships, right? So you can really help your Thanksgiving budget by just using generic brands. Generic usually have the exact same ingredients anyway. They just spend less on branding or advertising, just to, come to think of it, and all those savings get passed on you if they have a lot of this brandings and advertising. So generic is going to be a good go-to as well. And I want you to think of this, guys, unless that it's not the food that you really like to taste, me, there's something that very specifically that my taste buds are looking for. I know and I understand. Like, let me just tell you, ketchup, I'm very picky on my ketchup. I know there are people like that, but you get the point, guys, right? So you just have to make sure that you can put into your budget and to your plan that you can use generic brands. Another thing, potluck is a good thing too. Since we're talking about Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving, when you invite friends over, they can bring food for the party as well, even though you're the host, because when you're the host, you feel so pressured in cooking food and cooking all the food, right? But you don't have to really. Just tell your friends to bring some as well. So that will actually help your budget as well, and I bet you your local friends in your area, I'm telling you, they won't mind bringing you a dish or two. Of course, it's nice to do more of the grocery, you going out there and preparing for your guests, but then again, we're talking about hardship during these holidays, but you just want to make sure that you want to celebrate it. Now, maybe that's a good idea that you make your friends bring something as well. And it's going to be a good party for everybody, And speaking about friends coming over, let's do the reverse of that. You can actually accept invitations from others, So if you get an invitation to join a family or friends at someone else's place for Thanksgiving, why not? Go there, take them up on the offer, and I know it's fun to host. Preparing your house, your beautiful house, and so maybe this time around you go to a friend's house, and you should certainly, I'm not questioning if you open your house or not, certainly you can, but if there's a way that you can go this time, by accepting invitation from others, why not? It's going to be as fun, now being a host, and it's as fun as being a guest as well. And of course, it's a whole lot cheaper, right? So, but then again, show your gratitude in that invitation by offering them to bring a dish as well. And I'm telling you exactly what I was telling you a while ago, right? When you let your friends bring dish, that will help you, right? And reversely, you bring dish for these people who invited you over. Everybody's happy, right? So you get to enjoy all the parts of Thanksgiving without spending a ton of money. And then you still celebrate with your friends and family. Now, another thing, you can volunteer your time. There's a, to be able to skip an expensive fancy dinner, and maybe what you would want to do is to contact maybe a local soup kitchen or a homeless shelter and ask if you can donate some items or cook food or help you help them serve a meal. This charity organizations, they definitely need help, right? So they will definitely let you help them. And then while doing such, you can invite your friends and family along, and you might just make new favorite Thanksgiving tradition in a whole other perspective. I know you get that idea. And maybe another thing that I can actually push you or let you think of getting away from the holiday hardship is focus on what's really important. Again, maybe you have to think about what I'm telling you right now. Focus on what's really important. We all enjoy holidays. We get it. I get it. We enjoy the holidays more than, if it's not crammed. Meaning we set our planning in place, priorities in place, and then there's not a lot of activities, the stress of a lot of activities here and there. Less really does give us more, if you know what I mean. Now, next week is going to be Thanksgiving. As you approach that's actually a sign of a very busy holiday season. This is actually maybe an opportunity for you to look for a way to slow down a bit. While everybody's in a faster pace, maybe you would want to change your pacing as well. Maybe do something different. Maybe you build a space into your day, and you build a space into your budget. Allow yourself a little breathing room this time, so you have the chance to really take the joy that's actually happening around you. And well, next week is Thanksgiving, so it's Thanksgiving after all. So when you take the time to appreciate your blessings, you're less likely to spend money that you actually don't have, and more likely to be content with what you do have. Mga kaibigan, happy Thanksgiving po sa inyo next week, right? And I hope you enjoy that with your family and friends to the best ever Thanksgiving. Again, my name is Enrico Pobre, mga kaibigan, signing off.